stand and do the pledge of allegiance. We follow the prayer as an act of I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Pray. Our Father in heaven, we are truly grateful for the day of life that you have given to each of us. Grateful that you have watched over us and you have taken care of us and provided for us. Lord, we are mindful of those in our communities who are sick, who need your touch. We are mindful of those who are grieving because of passing of loved ones. Lord, we pray that you would comfort their hearts only the way that you can. I ask you, Lord, that as we conduct the business of this town, help us, Lord, to remember the reason why we're here. For we pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Okay. Roll call. Alderman Betts. Present. Alderwoman Dorey.
Present.
Alderman Gardner. Here. Alderman McCoy. Present. Alderman Probst. Present. Quorum exists. Mayor. All right, you have before you the minutes from the previous meeting, and if you don't have any questions, I'll entertain a motion to accept the previous minutes.
Can we do it one at a time?
If you would like. We had a special meeting and also our regular meeting, so if you want to review the regular meeting from the last month, if that's the one you had a chance to go over, a motion.
I make a motion on the regular meeting.
Okay, motion made on the regular meeting, second by Alderman Garner. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now you've had a chance to review the special meeting. Any questions? I hear a motion that we accept the special meeting minutes.
One of the concerns that I have about the special meeting minutes, not that any information that is included within is incorrect, but because that meeting was not videoed and made available for public viewing, a lot of the information that was discussed in the meeting is not detailed in the minutes. And given the length of that meeting, I know that there is no possible way to have done that. I'd like to go on record and request that even in special meetings, especially where votes are being cast that affect the public, that we go ahead and set up a recording so that all decisions and conversations can be made available to the public.
Okay. We can certainly do that. Any other questions? All right, hear a motion, we accept the minutes.
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Alderman Dorey, second by Alderman Probst. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next, first on the agenda, we have Ms. Deborah Mokes with your financial statement for March.
Okay. The balance sheet is as of March 31st, 2018. It shows that we have total unrestricted cash of $115,000. We have total restricted cash of $844,000. Restricted means that we can only use it for certain purposes. The balance sheet is also showing the hydro reserve is still at the $2.3 million, and the receivables are at $2 million. The hydro receivable is at $3.3, which is the royalties that we received in May. Project Blue is at the $1.1 million under the industrial park fund. But they have paid us, of the town, $159,000, including $14,000 that we received on April the 11th, towards their utilities. Accounts payable is at $1.7 million, and that includes the hydro power cost of $997,000. So that's the balance sheet. The statement of revenues, expenditures, and changes in fund balance, which is for the 9 months ending March 31st. It shows a combined total revenue of $24,099,000 and total expenditures of $23,222,000. So of a net change in position of $877,000. plan on the budget to actual summary by fund type for the 9 months ending March the 31st, 2018. I'd just like to point out that the general fund is, in the general fund, other revenues is, includes $300,000 proceeds from the loan, which it increased our budgetary loan balance to $2.1 million. And it also includes $286,000 of the capital lease proceeds for the police vehicles that were purchased in September, October of last year. The revenues are slightly under budget in the general fund. Personnel services are over budget due to the retention payment and also a payout of unused leave. That will change at the end of the year when I do the adjustment for the accrued vacation leave. The capital outlay includes the proceeds for the machinery equipment, includes the proceeds for the vehicles. It's an in and an out, and it will require a budget amendment. The special revenue funds, the revenues are down particularly due to the hydro royalties, which is at 64% presently. 11% decrease over $11.6 million budget is a loss of $1.2 million. And also the cost is also lower, but the profit margin is the same. The sales tax, hotel occupancy is lower than expected, and also the expenses are lower than expected. And the rebates are also included in the actual, but not included in the budget. The capital fund includes the port construction and the industrial park fund. The port access revenue and expense is below budget due to the delay in the construction of the port facilities. The project is will be completed in next year's fiscal year. Only 3% is completed year to date. The industrial park is also included in the capital fund, and this includes includes 75% of the annual lease payment from Project Blue that we're waiting to see how it pans out before amending the budget. And it is money that is, we've got a lease that is signed that shows that they will pay this money. Salaries and benefits are on target. Other services are slightly under budget. The enterprise fund is the convention center and the utility fund. Overall revenues are slightly under budget for services, but over budget for other income. Expenditures are right on budget overall. Gas revenues are up and gas expenses up also. The profit margin is the same. The electric revenues are slightly higher than budget and cost is slightly higher. Water and sewer revenue is on target and expenses are better than target. Overall, the financial position is better than projected, but it still depends on Project Blue. And we've been having budget meetings for over a month now. We've met with the aldermen and got their input, and now it's time for us to formulate it, present it for discussion and review and approve it. We're also trying to finalize the policy and procedures manual, get that ready for board approval. And I've also provided the council members with an agent analysis as of today, which shows the payables that we, have paid our bills with money through, that we received through the month. Even though it's been very difficult at times to pay things on time, we are definitely trying to keep the bills paid. That's the end. Any questions?
During this fiscal year, how much total has been drawn from the line of credit?
In this fiscal year, so far is $700,000. We took 3 in March, and the 400 is going to show up in April, which we had to borrow to pay the power cost.
Right.
Mr. Mayor, can I ask a question? We have a reserve, we borrowed money rather than using our reserve, and now we're going to pay interest on the borrowed money. The board, I assume, voted to pay for for us to have to do that. That's another expense to the town of Vidalia. Just like down on Riverside, the state offered to pay nothing to Vidalia. They're gonna fix the street, it wasn't gonna cost Vidalia. Now Vidalia is gonna have to pay that. Why would the board vote against that?
Bill, I hear your concern. I think that your major question was in regards to the question on as far as the borrowing, but let's stay on point with that.
Well, that's the same deal. If you borrowed that money, you could have taken it out of your reserve and not had to pay the interest on it.
And that's a point well taken. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. All right, going to occupational license applications, we have with me in front of the Town Place Suites and their signed application. Is there any questions on that?
Make the motion we accept.
Got a motion made by Alderman Dorey, there a second? There was a couple seconds there. I heard Alderman McCoy, all in favor? Okay. Number 4, we are pleased to have our tax.
Mr. Mayor, I missed agenda item number 2, occupational licenses. There were none.
There were, I'm sorry. There was just the sign application.
Thank you.
We have with us our Discovery Parish Tax Assessor, Mr. Jerry Clark. We were supposed to, I think, on an annual basis, adopt our millage. And I don't know if we did that last year.
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
You wouldn't have collected any money, you did.
Well, thank you for setting me straight. I appreciate that. But anyway, we have to establish our millage rate for 2018, and he's here to answer any questions the residents might have. I think he will verify that we have the lowest millage in the state, probably, as far as our residents, what they pay. Actually, some towns run their whole general fund off the millage that they charge on ad valorem. And I can promise you that what we collect on our ad valorem wouldn't be a drop in the bucket. So that's a plus for our residents to have. So if anybody have any questions that they'd like to ask our assessor. Are you done?
Jerry, when are we going to put the assessments online? I know you kind of frowned on that, but yet, you know, other places are doing it. They're making sure that our records, as far as the assessment, are online.
Well, they are actually online with through the Louisiana Tax Commission website. We have to give them figures every August. And that's where you could go and check that at that time, of course. And during August, those figures are not set in stone because we're still making changes and stuff at that moment. It's just, that's where they, mandate us to put those figures out there each year.
Okay, so they are accessible.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
accessible, yeah.
Okay. Any other
And of course, you got the mapping,
Yeah.
the mapping thing we have now that also, when you check it, you can also click on it and it also gives you an assessment right there.
The geo portal is
Yeah.
excellent.
Jerry, is there any change in the millage from the previous year?
On the new millage for Vidalia this year? No, it'd be the same. It should be the same, 3.39, which it used to be 3.31, but with reassessment, because values decreased, the millage rolled forward is, for reassessment, the town or your taxing body is not supposed to collect any less money than it did the previous year because of reassessment, or more money. So if your values go down, then you can actually roll your millage above the maximum millage that you had. And that's what it was at the time. Your maximum millage was 3.31. It was able to go to 3.39, and then that becomes your maximum millage for the next 4-year period. And you can do less than that if you wanted to.
And just for clarification, to increase that would require an election.
You would, yes.
Okay. All right. So, do I hear a motion that we leave our millage current rate of 3.39 for 2018?
Make that motion.
Motion made by Alderman Betts, second by Alderman McCoy. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Item number 5 is the opening and approval of bid submitted for the 2-city garbage truck, which is a lease that y'all know. To get approved that, back in December of 2017, and we accepted a bid from Scott Truck and Tractor. However, the time has expired on that to get that because the truck was not delivered, and that's since expired. So we have to re-advertise, and we have that bid in today. So the previous bid that was approved was $177,000, and the rate was 2.69%. That was 36 payments of $2,813. So we do have a bid from Scott Truck again. The price of the truck has increased to $178,385, which is just a little bit of increase, not much. 36 monthly payments went to $2,929 instead of $2,813 at a lease rate of 3.54. So there was an increase in our rate. Y'all know interest rates have shifted up. So, and that is the only bid that we've got. So, Lee, I'm gonna let you address what is the tentative delivery date and so forth based on the.
I think Jay talked to him last. Jay, do you know what the last tentative date was for delivery?
He said this new truck should be delivered mid-July. The rate's guaranteed through the end of July. The trucks, he has the chassis. It's the body that.
Just waiting on the body right now.
That's
You got
right.
the chassis, so. I'd like to get here as quick as he possibly could.
He was anticipating within the first 2 weeks of July.
Any other questions?
How far outside of the budget will this increase in interest rate and cost put us?
That budget hadn't been, that will be in the new budget.
So this was not included in the fiscal budget that we are in now?
Deborah, did we have that in this week?
Well, it's usually about the same thing as it is every year, you know, we just cover, we don't look at the new rates, we look at.
What was the
it
previous payment on the previous, I mean, when we be turning in?
I don't know what
The original one was in this year.
Yes, yes. Right, and it's still there. Because we continue, they extended that lease for us to continue on how the truck operate with until delivery of this was made.
I make the motion, we accept.
Okay, motion made by Alderman Dory, do I hear a second? Second. Second by Alderman Probst, all in favor? Okay. Number 6 on the agenda, Alderman Gardner wanted to discuss Memorial Day activities coming up. I think each year that this has been the longest standing parade. I think I'm not going to steal your thunder, but I do want to give a quick update about the bridge situation. I visited with Blast Tech, the company, and there's good news and bad news. In July, they're going to open up the one lane on each bridge, open it up to traffic. That will be in July, between the middle of July to the end of July, and it will be completely open. Target date is September. Bad news is MDOT is not going to put lights back on the bridge. Anyway, that was a $5 million project. $5 million project that it was going to cost about $300,000 to put LED lights in place, which would have been a big savings. But anyway, they nixed it, so right now there will not be the decorative lights put back on the bridge. Okay, Bob.
I had this put on the agenda because I just wanted to let the community know that this parade is still on. I know there has been some said that this parade will not continue this year, but this parade will continue. The finalization will be made on this Thursday by the American Legion Post-Wide 90. So I'm asking any concerned citizens or anybody that wants to know any information on this, look on social media or possibly in the event we will have that information out there. Last year, we recognized someone as Grand Marshal, and we will be doing the same thing this year. I invited both. We selected 2 parties to be Grand Marshal, and they're not here, but I will still recognize them on tonight, which is going to be Josephine Webster, who's a retired educator with 30+ years, and David Hendricks, Chief Deputy at the Sheriff's Department. So those will be the two grand marshals on May the 28th for the Memorial Day Parade.
Okay. All right, thank you, Robert. That ends our agenda, and I hear a motion to adjourn.
So, we go to, for the good order.
Pardon?
I need to speak before we close the meeting, about some concerns that I've been getting, personal concerns.
Okay, we added as an agenda item, y'all know the routine to add an agenda item.
Well, I'm not interested in that, and I don't think it's necessary for it to be an agenda item. It's just,
I mean, there's some we have information on that we can discuss.
yes. We voted on Project Pencil. And typically what we do is when Heather brings us something and Heather has the information, it's good information. And she would never, in my opinion, do anything to harm Vidalia.
I don't think any of us would know.
I'm talking about Heather now. Because Heather's been our point person on Project Blue. We're way up down Project Blue. Nobody knows anything about that. But Project Pencil, I've had massive calls about Project Blue. Project Pencil. And I did some research on it myself. And in the research I found that they were lucky to find a place called Vidalia that might even accept the project. And it's been denied 2 or 3 other places because of emissions, because of what may happen to the water.
Okay, I'm gonna, look, if this is, because right now you're saying you did research, we've also done ours, and I feel like it would be remiss for us. Pam, hold on a minute, please. I'm going to adjourn this meeting. Anybody wants to discuss this, our research on it, we will retire back here to the back. Any residents that want to come in, Mark and I, Heather's here, anybody else can come. We'll answer any and all questions. This, you know, you come, we want, this doesn't need to be a public forum. This council meeting.
What doesn't it need to be?
Hold
Should have
on.
been a public hearing. We
Huh?
should have had a public hearing prior to.
We will talk about it, I'm telling you, after this, and we will set up, we will hear your concerns, and we will do our research, and we'll put it on the agenda. Look, we want to answer your questions, okay?
Don't we have a time restraint on this? Aren't they closing on the building in less than 100 days?
Well, honestly, that is a private building that's up for sale.
Right.
That's on town property. I mean, we cannot stop a sale of
I
that property.
understand that.
But anyway, all I'm gonna say is that I want to talk to each one of you who have concerns, Heather, Mark, and I, or anybody else who wants to come back there. We will come back there and discuss it, and be glad to discuss it. This isn't the time because we'll go in the back and discuss it. I want to hear your concerns, and we'll get the questions that you have, and I promise you, we'll put it, make an agenda item where anybody can show up and have information on it to discuss it. That's the way it should work. Tonight, to air this out, please understand, I live in Vidalia too, and I'm just concerned.
Yeah, I don't want to air it out. I mean,
Right.
I just wanted to have it brought to the forefront
And-
so that we could voice, some concerns, because we're not against it.
Okay,
As
anyway,
much as we are concerned about
let
it.
us get your question. If it's something that deserves, if it doesn't get your answer, we will have a special meeting and listen to it.
My question, Mr. Kraft, will we be able to have a public hearing on this matter? Or we can get public input?
It needs to be
Well,
public.
that's why, let's get some of the questions they have, and we'll gather that information to show up, and everybody have their own information. We gotta make sure that we feel like we've done the research. We feel like we've done those things, and that's what I'll be glad to go back here after this meeting. We're during this meeting. Anybody who wants to come back there, we just can't have a quorum of, they can't.
But that's the issue. I'd like to make a motion that we add an agenda item to open a public forum for the discussion on this topic so that all aldermen can be present when these concerns are addressed.
Okay.
Yes.
Motion's made. For a second.
I'll make it.
Second by Alderman McCoy. All in favor, raise your hand. All against?
I'm trying to figure out what we're trying to do, right? We're trying to add it right now?
Yeah.
That's what she said.
And it requires unanimous, vote.
I mean, I think we should set it up later.
Well, to get information, get somebody, I mean, to have a chance to get information, because right now,
But we
everybody.
do want to set it up at a pretty soon later date.
Well, so what we do, we see what their questions are. If we don't answer your questions.
I've had the same call that all y'all had, so.
We got them too, but that's what I'm saying, we'll be glad to go back here and show you, tell you what we've done, we're gonna go to the back, I'm sorry, I'm saying how we wanna do this, because right now, to air out our opinions is not the place to do it without information. I mean, we want to get you informed, and we will get you informed. So, anyway, okay,
Motion second on the floor, Mayor.
okay, we had a vote, and we had two for,
Two for and two against.
2 against, and an abstain, or
I just say against for right now.
against, so 3 against and 2 for.
Okay, how soon can we reset this map in order?
That's the point we need to get. So these people, just like us, I've had people call me, so let's set up,
And we have.
let's try to set up a time.
Not a question I can answer.
Well,
You did last time on the special meeting that we had to talk about it.
I never set meeting days.
Okay,
Let's
Mayor,
go.
when can we set a special meeting date to at least address the concerns of our townspeople?
Let
Can we
us,
do it on the 15th?
let me get your questions, we'll get your questions, and we will have time to research and get the people here to talk about it, rather than people here with just opinions and stuff that everybody has done. You don't have the research that we've had, and the people in the state research that they've done. So please, just understand the process. I'll go back here, we'll discuss with you what we've done, we'll formulate, if action needs to be taken, and we'll address all your concerns. I promise you, I live here too, my mom and dad live here. I don't want to do something that's going to be harmful to us. I don't want to do that, I promise you.
One point I want to make is this will be controlled by the EPA and
Absolutely.
all those environmental project
EPA
people
and
that
DEQ will be strongly involved, and we'll discuss that back there. So anyway, do I hear a motion with adjourn?
No, sir, I have a question before we do so. At our regular meeting last month, we brought up a sign ordinance. We didn't have time for council to draft the paperwork for the special meeting. I assumed that it would be drafted in time for this meeting. Can we get a status report on that?
Council?
Not on the agenda either, but I'll give you a status. The status is I got Mr. McLemore's files from the town, which have several ordinances on signs. I spent some time researching on that. I went back and looked and found that the Title VII of the zoning code has an extensive section on signage. And no one from the council has contacted me about what you want drafted, so I don't know what you want to address something about temporary signs, but I never got any input about what to do with it.
I requested permission to
And
contact you. The mayor said he would handle it.
I got the file here,
I requested the permission. The mayor said he would handle it. I believed that it would be handled, which is why I did not request that it be re-added to the agenda, because I believed, based on our conversation at the last meeting, that it would be. We discussed setting up of the, the amendment. When the mayor said he was handling it, I assumed that he was. So can I have permission to speak to the attorney about what you and I have already discussed?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. Here, motion with adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Alderman Gardner, do I hear a second?
Second.
Second, all in favor? Okay.